Welcome to episode 2. Today we're going to touch on a couple different topics. So we're going to first talk about trades, free agents, signings, and first up, just want to mention that Paul George signed his contract. Anthony Davis signed his contract. And, we've got one trade that really kind of had someone with a name in it. With Danny Green and Al Horford switching spots there from Philly and OKC. Any thoughts on that?
It doesn't really make sense to me. I guess I understand why OKC is getting rid of Danny Green when they're completely cleaning house and rebuilding. I guess that makes a little bit of sense. But to pick up somebody who I believe Al Horford is older, it doesn't really make sense to me. I think Danny Green is still a good shooter. So I don't know why you would trade him and not at least try to get a younger prospect, maybe, if you're just going with a full rebuild. I mean, Al Horford did not have a good year in Philadelphia, and Danny Green's biggest hit is he missed that shot. Like, he missed the shot in the finals, so that just does not make sense to me. He's coming off a championship, and you trade him for a deteriorating player in Al Horford. So to me, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I don't know. What's your thought?
Nah, you pretty much hit it. I was gonna say, I don't see the big picture.
It's like unless they're trying to dump salary and just open up some salary space, I don't know. Danny Green may have been being paid more than Al Horford is, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, no, I don't. Like I said, I don't see the end game on that, so I don't know where it makes sense for either team really, unless, like you said, it has to do with the salary cap. So yeah, that's enough of that. We kind of got that one out of the way. On to James Harden. So obviously there's no official trade in. A lot of rumors floating around. He still hasn't reported to camp as far as I know.
No, he is. I don't believe he has passed COVID protocols yet.
And the preseason starts as of this recording tomorrow.
Oh, James Harden's not playing in the preseason.
Well, no, I'm aware of that. No, I mean, I understand that, but my point is the season itself is only 2 weeks away. By the time this podcast posts, it's only going to be a week away. And by that time, he probably still wouldn't have passed through COVID protocol, depending on when he started. Because as of Tuesday, I know he was out partying and touring with some rapper, from what I heard. And it's just man, at least give us something to go off of. Let your team know so that they can let their fans know. But on the split side of that, I'm not a huge Harden fan. We've already kind of talked about that last episode. I'm not a fan of the ego. I mean, that's about all I have to say about that topic.
Well, I mean, he opened up a couple more places that he's willing to go. Announcing that who was it? Shams Charania put that post out saying that Harden is now looking at, was it Philly, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Miami?
Jesus, dude! If he ends up on Milwaukee, what the hell?
That's what I was listening to Max Kellerman today, and he's talking about the way they would have to get him is trade away Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday.
Yeah, well, they'd have to trade him away, and even then, I don't know if they're going to have the salary cap space to land Harden. Honestly, Harden's going to have to take a pay cut, I think.
I don't know. I mean, Chris
Like
Middleton's
it's gonna
he's the biggest contract in Milwaukee right now.
yeah, but
Chris
I'm saying like
Middleton is.
it's gonna come down to though like for Harden, if he's gonna end up taking a pay cut, it's gonna come down to him. What do you want more, money or a ring? And
He's gonna
that's
stick
if
with
he
the
even gets
ring.
there. Well, yeah, that's if he even gets there though and meshes with the team.
Yeah.
Because we all
I
know
don't see
how
him
he
working
is.
in Milwaukee. He's not going to work in a small market. Um,
I don't think he's gonna
and
work in a big market.
he's just not a good team player, in my opinion.
No, not at all. I mean, he
Um,
can go out and drop 50 points while the rest of the team drops another like 40 combined.
yeah,
Congratulations. You still lost.
yeah, and that's what I don't like about him is he gets and it just would not work with Giannis. He gets most of his points by driving. Not I'm talking about Harden here. Harden gets a lot of his points from driving, flopping, and going to the free throw line. If he's gonna keep driving, that just clogs the lane for Giannis, who is the focal point of that team.
Well,
And if you're trading away Chris Middleton, you're trading away Giannis's best friend,
and
favorite
playmate.
guy on the team, and that's just gonna you already traded away or you already got rid of Jason Kidd years ago, which Giannis did not like. You really want to make him mad again
Yeah. I mean,
when he's supposed to be signing his extension?
and we
Terrible idea.
already, everybody already thought that Giannis was going to leave after last year,
Yeah.
so like don't poke the bear. But
Yep.
on a side note, I don't know if you saw Houston unveiled their new city uniforms.
Uh-uh.
Dude, they're clean, man. They're like
Are they?
They're like Houston Oilers style throwback. They're
Let's see
like
what
baby
these.
blue with the red and the white. I like them. I think they're badass. Same with the Heat. The Heat unveiled their official
The
Vice.
Miami Vice.
Yeah, those
Ooh,
things are
those are nice.
badass. Are you talking
There's
about the
the
Houston Oiler ones?
yeah. I
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think they're sweet. They kind of got that throwback style to them.
Yeah. I want to see the Miami ones. I haven't seen those either.
Yeah, those are clean. So, did you have anything else to say about the
Oh,
Harden trade,
very cool.
or did you want to jump on to the next topic here?
The only thing I will say is I think the only place he will work outside of Houston is Philadelphia.
You really think he'll work with Ben
I
Simmons?
respect. I think that he's gonna get. I think Ben Simmons is gonna be traded for James Harden,
Yeah, that's actually probably true.
and you got Joel Embiid who's just gonna dominate the paint, stay inside, pop out when he needs to. So I think it'll work. I think that'd be about the only place.
What are you
See,
talking about?
he
Houston's
is
got
he
DeMarcus
will.
Cousins, bro.
But no, that's it. I don't. He just does not work with other stars. It's
No, he
just it
doesn't.
doesn't. He demands the ball, which the other stars need the ball, and especially in Brooklyn, you're gonna have Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and then James Harden. Where does that fit? It doesn't. In Miami, I respect Miami too much, and I enjoy watching them too much to watch it be ruined by James Harden.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think Jimmy Butler would like it very much if Harden showed up.
Oh no, because Jimmy Butler's a workhorse. James Harden is
Yeah.
not.
Man, people are gonna listen to our podcast and be like, "Man, you guys really freaking hate James Harden." Both
Yeah, just wait
episodes,
until we get on. Just wait until we get on LeBron James.
we dumped on this man. All right, so
Hey,
let's
he
move
brings it
on.
on himself. All right.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. All right, let's move on to the next one. So, with no fans for majority of the teams because of COVID, how is this going to impact the teams? Like the ones not invited to the bubble, the ones that didn't already have to play in front of no fans.
Right. And that's kind of why I wanted us to talk about this. This is like, I feel like nobody's kind of taking that into consideration because the teams that didn't make the bubble are already, aside from the Golden State Warriors, are already basically the bottom feeders of the NBA. I think it's just going to be an interesting dynamic because those people, like those teams, have not played through having no fans already. So they have not had that early exposure that the other teams that did make the bubble already got used to. So I think it'll be interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, they're professionals. They're going to go out and do what they have to do. But I feel like it's going to be somewhat of an unfair advantage. Granted, those teams that played in the bubble didn't have as much of an off season and didn't get much rest. So the teams that didn't make the bubble are going to be better. But at the same time, I feel like basketball is such a muscle memory sport, and they've been competing already, and then they get to go right back into competing while also having the advantage of already knowing what it's like being in an empty arena.
Yeah. Well, and one of the most interesting videos that I've seen recently was actually from a worker at Disney who was there for the bubble. And they said, like, during the finals, he actually witnessed after one of the games when the Heat beat the Lakers, he witnessed Jimmy Butler, outside in the quad area walked right past Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and like none of them said a word to each other. Like, that's just an interesting dynamic to think about because they were all locked there together. Like, you just went to battle against these guys, and now you got to see them.
It's part of the
Like
mentality.
immediately afterwards.
I mean, I guess that's why they completely. I mean, from what it sounds like, it just ignored each other's existence because.
Oh yeah, no, and
You're
I mean
you're
I
competing. You're
understand
not.
that.
This isn't friendly time. Like
No,
you
I
tell them good
understand that.
game afterwards, and that's it.
No, I'm saying though that this is going to be a little different dynamic than that. So that's a little
Yeah,
different for the teams that were in the bubble. They don't have
I
to
guess.
if they don't want to see the people that they just played against, they don't have to.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Whereas before in the bubble they had to.
I
You
guess.
know,
Yeah,
it's so like that's a different dynamic that they're going to be dealing with as well.
right.
Which I mean isn't as big a deal. I think it makes it easier on them than it was in the bubble. But I think that it puts them back in their normal perspective. And what I'm getting at is it's going to put them at ease a little more. So I can kind of get behind the whole idea that they're going to have that slightly unfair advantage.
Yeah,
Because even though, they didn't have as big a break,
yeah,
like the other teams weren't meeting up and playing because of
right.
COVID.
I
So
was gonna say
they've really been out.
they weren't allowed to practice in their own facilities. Like they were not allowed to. So they really are at a disadvantage because they
Yeah.
missed all of that time to be playing, and now are I mean just catching up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, even in the little off season that they've had now between, getting playing in the bubble versus this new season starting, I mean, Giannis has been putting on work. He just released a video of one of his workouts today up on TikTok. And
He's getting a step back.
and he's getting a step back and some shooting. I'm like, woo, man, he gets that like whole different game. But we'll hit on that later. I mean, that about wraps it for me on that topic.
Yeah,
So
that's
now
all
we'll
I
go.
really wanted to cover.
Yeah, so now we'll move right along into the thoughts on the CBS release of the top 100 players and how we feel about those rankings. So at number 1, they've got LeBron James, 2 Kawhi Leonard, 3 Giannis, 4 Curry, 5 Anthony Davis, 6 Luka Doncic, 7 KD, 8 James Harden, 9 Damian Lillard, and 10 Nikolai Jokic. So how do you feel about their top 10? Obviously, we're not going to go over all 100. That's going to take like 2 hours at least. So how do you feel about their top 10? I know you and I talked about this a little before we started the recording, and you do not agree with it at all. So let's get your take on it.
You know what? No, to start things, give me your top 10. Off the top of your head, give me your top 10 in your
Oh
order.
God.
Go
In my
10
order?
to 1. 10 to
Man, you
1.
you did not give me enough time to think this through.
10 to 1. Exactly, because now it's going to be fresh. It's just what comes to your head. What exactly is it?
Okay. Do you want me to reorder their top 10 or do you want me to give you like my personal top
Your
10?
personal top 10. Go 10 to 1.
Okay, I'm actually taking Jimmy Butler from 13 and putting him at 10.
Okay, I like where this is going.
I'm a huge Jimmy Butler fan, and for him to go there, take a really young Heat team and help lead them to the finals, that says a lot about him and his improvement upon his game. So I'm going to give him number 10. I'm knocking the Joker out of the top 10. The rest of the top 10 is going to stay roughly the same. I say roughly because I'm honestly going to go ahead and take out James Harden.
Okay.
I'm going to give him 11.
Okay. So who are you going to pull into the top 10?
So let me actually change that. I'm going to give Jimmy Butler number 9. I'm going to give Jason Tatum number 10.
Okay.
Then I'm going to give, let's see, Luka number 8.
Okay.
I'm going to give Damian Lillard number 7.
Okay.
Are you writing all this down?
No, I'm just scrolling through to see
Okay.
like where your placements are moving compared to theirs.
Gotcha. I'm going to give Steph Curry number 6.
Okay.
I'm going to keep Anthony Davis at 5.
Okay.
I'm going to move KD up to 4.
Okay.
I'm going to drop Kawhi to 3, LeBron to 2, Giannis up to 1.
I agree with your top 3. I love it.
So that's where my top 10 stands.
Okay.
And that was just off the top of my head, kind of scrolling through and placing them in, where I think they land. So I'll give you a little bit of background on my picks real quick. The ones that I, moved drastically. So I'm giving Luka. I think I said him at number 7. So, or wait, no, I moved him to 8. Was it 8?
You went Tatum, Butler,
Luka, Lillard.
Yeah, Tatum, Butler, Luka.
Okay, so Luka I gave number 8. So the reason I gave Luka 8 is because he's still young.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good. This is his 3rd season in the league. Obviously, he's been good in that time. But I think Damian Lillard's super underrated.
I agree.
And it even says, like CBS even says on here, to me, Lillard trails only Luka Doncic in MVP likelihood.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't see Luka pulling up logo shots.
Damian Lillard just has that innate ability just to take over a game. Which
Yeah,
Luka
there's
has
a reason they call it daytime.
but Damian Lillard can do it on a consistent basis.
He
Did you
literally
watch him through the playoffs?
Oh, dude, I loved him through the playoffs. Like, he's honestly one of my favorite players in the entire NBA. Just the mantra that he carries about himself and the way that he carries himself in a game, like, it's electrifying. I love watching him play.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving him above Luka. Kevin Durant, I'm moving up because I think KD is arguably one of the best players in the NBA. And even though he was injured last season, I don't think he deserves to be at number 7. Not at all.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Davis deserves to be where he's at. I think Steph's slightly overrated, but I mean, he's still Steph. We talked about last episode how he changed the game. He changed the way it was played. So I'm dropping him down, though, because even before his injury, he wasn't the Steph that we know and love
Yeah.
in the league. I mean, he was still playing top tier, but he wasn't like, Showtime Curry.
Right.
So that's why I dropped him down a little bit. I think Giannis is number one because watching Giannis develop that shot, like if Giannis can develop his shot and actually shoot,
Mm-hmm.
like it's game over, man. Like
Yeah.
that's the end of the NBA. There's no more argument over who is number one,
Right.
and at least currently playing. Like, I mean, he's already a reigning back-to-back MVP without being able to shoot a ball.
Yeah.
So give him a shot now. Okay, now what do you have?
Right.
You have an
No, I'm
all-around
with you.
absolute monster. And LeBron James deserves his credit. LeBron James has been like LeBron James for 17 years.
Right.
And nothing's going to take that away.
It's like if you sit there and look at it, it's like you give Giannis an Anthony Davis caliber sidekick. Milwaukee would have won the finals.
Agreed.
It's
all right. So there's my top 10.
As simple as that.
There's my background on it. So now it's your turn.
Okay, hang on, I'm writing it out still.
So you didn't give me time to write it out, but you get time. I see how it is.
Oh, I was just writing while you were talking.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I think that both Tatum and Jimmy Butler deserve more credit than they're given. I think they both deserve to be in the top 10. I don't think Harden does. The sole reason I don't think Harden does is because he's not a team player. He might be, a good scorer. He's pretty lackluster on defense. And he's just not an all-around player. So
Yeah.
I can't really get behind that. And he doesn't have, any synergy with his team. And I think that plays into how good you are as a player as well, because it's all about professionalism. You're a professional athlete, so you should be able to perform when you get someone that's, as solid as Westbrook and Chris Paul on your team.
Right.
Like, especially Chris Paul, because Chris
know.
Paul is such just a easy guy.
He's a team-friendly player.
Yeah, so
very much so.
So I mean, if you can't do it with Chris Paul, and you said this last episode too, you can't do it with anybody.
Yeah.
Like that's just it's not going to happen. So I don't think he deserves to be in the top 10 for that reason.
Yeah. So I kind of have the same approach as you. I disagree. I don't think Tatum is quite into the top 10 yet. I would restructure the top 15, the 5 outside of the top 10, based on what they have. That's a story for a different time.
Yeah.
I would drop Harden down to 10. I think he still deserves to be in the top 10. He is the most dynamic offensive player in the NBA, just because he has figured out how to get the open shot. He, albeit he flops a ton, he sells it very well and gets a ton of free throws, puts up a lot of points. So I think he does still deserve to be in the top 10. At 9, I'm going to go Jimmy Butler. I agree with you. The fact that he took that young of a team, carried them all the way to the finals is very impressive.
Well, and he was able to beat
ahead of
the
him.
Lakers twice.
Yeah.
Not just the fact that he even took them there, but the fact that they were even able to beat the Lakers twice is an achievement in itself.
Right. Didn't he drop 40 or 50 points against the Lakers at one point?
He did.
Okay. I thought so.
Which, again, that just says that much more in his favor.
Right. Ahead of him, though, I'm gonna go Luka, just because again he is young. He's still got some developing to do, but I think he is more than deserving to be in the top 10. Then Dame, like we talked about, he's just a dynamic player. He always shows up in the big moments. I'm actually going to drop Anthony Davis down to 6,
Okay.
just because I don't really know why. I just
Okay, so it's nothing against Davis. You're just
no.
doing it because you think there's people that deserve to be higher or should be higher.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I fully believe that Steph is a better player than Anthony Davis. I feel like Steph's presence is felt a lot more on the court. Anthony Davis sure has the bigger body, can make the big plays, but Steph's shooting efficiency is something we've never seen before, just how well he can shoot the 3-point shot. He's
Damn it!
again,
Now you make me feel stupid. Like I need to change my list.
he has single-handedly changed the NBA into what he is the reason that James Harden shoots so many shots, because they're all trying to be like Curry. I feel like somebody that has done that to the NBA and is literally the icon of their team, I believe is a top 5 player. Next, I'm going to drop down to Kawhi. Just the fact that he was not able to get it done last year when there was such high expectations for the Clippers to literally win it all after they beat the Lakers every single time they played them in the regular season and then just choked in the postseason.
Those damn Nuggets, man.
I know, it's like Kawhi Leonard was being heralded as the best player in the NBA at one point, and it's just he couldn't get it done against the Nuggets
Against Jamal Murray.
When he had that stacked of a team. I don't think he deserves to be all the way up at number 2. Ahead of him is KD. I mean, before the injury, KD was being talked about as being the second, if not the best player in the NBA. Granted, I know that he is coming back from a serious injury, but when you're 7 feet tall and you can shoot a shot over just about anybody in the NBA at a high rate, it's not going to affect his game that much, in my opinion.
I can get behind that.
mean, elite level talent, they'll find a way to come back. Then LeBron, just because he's been doing it for Lord knows how long. But then Giannis at number 1.
All right. So yeah, just some slight differences. Nothing too crazy. I think you actually kind of changed my mind again. You're pretty good about that with basketball topics on moving Curry and Anthony Davis around. I think I would change mine to match that slot.
I understand where CBS Sports is coming from, given that the Lakers just won the championship. So it's like, obviously, their 2 top players are going to be favored over a lot of people. But I don't think he is top 5.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the next topic, since you kind of touched on KD's injuries, we'll move on to the predictions for the 6 key players coming off of injury. So with that, we'll start off with Curry and his broken hand. So I'll start it off by saying I think he's going to have a comeback season.
Oh, easily. A broken hand isn't going to make that big of a difference in somebody's game.
No, and I mean, I think he's going to come out here, though, and I think the Warriors, even without Clay, are going to, thrive this season.
Andrew Wiggins is going to turn into the player that everybody thought he was going to. I'm calling it right now. If he's going to do it anywhere,
my brother says the same thing, and I think I can get behind that as well.
If he does it anywhere, it's going to be at Golden State.
Yeah, well, and with the picking up of James Wiseman,
James Wiseman, Kelly Oubre is another great pickup.
Like
Draymond Green.
I think they're going to be good. They're definitely going to be a really big contender in the West.
Right.
regardless
Their
of
rookies last year were
Curry's
real
injury.
good too. I mean, Eric Pascal is a good player.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So I was actually watching a video on that, and they were talking about different people to invest in card wise, and one of the guys said he's not investing in any Eric Pascal because with the coming back of Curry, the addition of Oubre, he's like literally it's knocking Eric Pascal out of the starting lineup. Like he's going to be a sixth or seventh man at best.
I would agree. I'm
So
just
it's
saying,
just
team wise, he's
oh
a
team
great
wise
player to
they've
have
got
coming
oh
off the
yeah
bench.
oh definitely no team wise they've got depth. But that's kind of what I'm getting at with that is that if you can take a player with as much promise as Eric Pascal and drop him to the bench like that, that says that your team
Mhm.
has depth.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of what
and
I was
that's
getting at.
like honestly, last year is kind of a blessing in disguise for Golden State.
Well, it allowed him
Like
to develop without having those stars around him.
exactly.
It gave him that time to shine, to develop their game, to get a year in the league and some experience. And now they've got depth with players who had to run the court without those
Mhm.
key players. Now they've
Right.
got now they've got one of their key players back and some new additions that are going to up that play level, and we're going to get to see them shine in a whole new light. Now maybe like I
Yeah.
said they're not going to be starting now necessarily, but again that's just adds to their depth.
Hmm.
Also, on a side note, just because this is up on my screen right now, um, they've got Zion Williamson ranked 24 and Trey Young ranked 25.
I disagree with that.
Oh, definitely. Like,
Well,
I just
you
really want to
know,
put that out there. I do not agree with that because in the 1920 season, Williamson played 20 games, Trey Young played 60 games. Trey Young
yeah,
averaged 7.1 points more, only had two less rebounds.
which he's in an
Uh,
entirely different position that's not even supposed to get rebounds.
no, I
Like,
know. Had four times the assists that Zion did. Like, how could you even do that to him? How could you do the man
right.
dirty like that? Anyway,
Well,
I just
while
wanted to
we're on
bring.
the topic, while we're
Okay.
extending, you know what? Just give me your five outside. Who's your top 15? Like, who's your five outside? I'll go first this time,
Yeah,
just
you go
because you went
first.
first last time.
Yeah, I got to think of that
So
now.
I would shift Jokic down to 11 because I pulled Jokic out of the top 10. I
Yep.
would
No,
take
I'm putting him at 11.
okay. So I'm gonna have Jokic at 11. I don't know that Tatum is top 15 for me. I might put him at 15, but I don't know that I'm ready to call him top 15. I would put no, you know what? I will. I'll put Tatum. I'll put Tatum at 12. I want
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell at 13, and then Bradley Beal at 14,
So you're going to keep
and
him there.
then yep, and then at 15, I'm going to take having a toss up between Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. I'm going to say Simmons. I take
Ooh.
50, I take Simmons at 15.
Okay.
I don't
So
trust the
I'm
process with Embiid. Guy
okay.
can't stay healthy. I know Simmons can't either, but Simmons has an entirely different play style than
Yeah.
Embiid does.
Okay. So I've got mine here. All right. Obviously, like I said, keeping Joker at 11.
Mhm.
12, I'm actually going to bump Beal up to 12.
Oh, okay, I can agree.
Yeah, I'm going to bump Beal up to 12. I'm actually going to give 13 to Booker.
Mm.
Okay, here's my argument as to why.
Mm.
Okay, hear me out.
Let me hear it. Go ahead.
Okay, so we put Luca in the top 10,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because he can clutch up, he plays really well, all around. He can drive the lane, he can shoot the outside, he just
Mhm.
makes things happen. He also has a better supporting cast than what Devin Booker has had in the past, and Devin Booker still does what Devin Booker does. he pulls up those clutch shots like Lillard, or he has. He's shown flashes of it, kind of like Luka. And I think with him having a better supporting cast with Chris Paul with him now,
Okay.
I just think that he's going to surprise a lot of people.
I think he's going to be good. I don't know.
Man, the Suns went on an 8-0 run in freaking Orlando.
I'm aware. But
I got to give the guy credit where credit's due.
he, in my opinion, he's a shooter and not much else.
Okay. Well, anyway, he's staying at my 13. You're not changing my mind on that one. 14.
It's your opinion.
14, I'm going to give it to Embiid.
Okay. Trust the process. The
15.
Process that still hasn't worked.
True. I like him more than Ben Simmons, though.
I don't know.
15.
You don't like a 6'10" point guard?
I mean, what has he done recently?
What do you mean?
Dude, the guy can't shoot.
You don't have to shoot to be a point guard.
I mean, sure, I guess. But you kind of do sometimes.
The 76ers are a significantly better team when Simmons is on the court.
Oh, no, I agree.
Compared to when Embiid is on the court, which is why they're thinking about doing a straight-up trade, Ben Simmons for James Harden.
I don't know if the Rockets are going to take that, but maybe with as much trouble as
Oh,
Harden.
they absolutely should.
All right, and then I'm giving Chris Paul 15.
There's a lot of discrepancies here.
I don't care what you say. Chris Paul has been talented for a long time.
Did I say he's not talented?
No, I'm just saying he's been Chris Paul.
He's not a guy that's gonna fill up the stat sheet. He's a playmaker. He'll knock down the shot. He'll knock down the shot when it's there, but he facilitates for his team and gets other guys open, which is great. But I don't think that's top 15.
I think it's top 15 because if you can make things happen, even if you're not the one scoring, but you can make things happen and change the flow of the game in your team's favor, that's an important skill to have.
Okay, Mr. Fundamental.
I'm just saying, not everything has to be dropping the deep three. Fine, you want me to put Trae Young up there at number 15?
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying that Donovan Mitchell or Jamal Murray deserve it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to drop.
You're going to say Jamal Murray. I know it.
No, I'm going to take Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray, and Kyrie Irving and move them up to my 13, 14, 15 slots.
That's silly. You're taking Kyrie? Eesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now on to Durant. All right. So I did see a video of him working out today as well.
He looks good.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. He looks good. He looks healthy. With a torn Achilles, usually you don't see a re-injury of the Achilles, typically. ACLs, MCLs, a little different story. But the Achilles usually is, typically a one-time thing. It's not going to be a fast reoccurring injury. What are you laughing at?
Why that is?
Why? You got something really dumb to say.
I'm going to go in with a soldering iron. Just solder it back together.
Yeah. No, I mean, it basically is what it is.
They basically replace the entire ligament with duct tape, and it just never breaks.
All right. Okay, now on to DeMarcus Cousins. We'll move on to the next guy. Because I don't think there's much to be said for Durant other than he looks good. DeMarcus Cousins. What do you think? I mean, Brittney Griner said she was going to body the guy, so.
Hang on, let me see. In my best impersonation of Brittney Griner.
Okay, that's staying in the clip. I'm not taking that out. That's okay. That's staying in there. I'm not taking that out. It's okay. It's okay, little man. Best part of that was her fucking coach's response. Did you see
I
that?
don't know. I think I would. What did he say? He'd take out his mortgage on his house and put it on
Yeah,
DeMarcus
he
Cousins.
said I'm selling my house, I'm emptying my bank account, and I'm putting it all on DeMarcus Cousins.
It's like when your coach doesn't even believe.
No, I know,
You should
right?
probably stop talking.
It's okay. It's okay, little man.
Huh? Sounds like Kawhi Leonard's laugh.
I know, right? All right, so I think he's going to end up getting injured again. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I mean, 3 years, 3 injuries. I think it's a pretty safe bet.
Well, yeah, I mean, Achilles, quad, ACL, like the ACL probably won't revisit him, but I guarantee the Achilles will. Or I mean, the Achilles won't. The ACL probably will.
Yeah.
Because I've torn my ACL and I know how that feels. It's not a good time. So that's my take on that one.
I agree.
Then we got Blake Griffin returning with a knee injury.
Blake Griffin, every time he returns, he does well. He's completely altered his game. He's a lot more of a playmaker now. He's a lot better shooter, ball handler. He's improved on all the other aspects of his game, that don't rely on his insane athleticism to just jump over everybody. So that's a good testament to him, and I think he'll be fine next year. After rehabbing for basically a full year, I think he'll be just fine next year.
It's really funny because that's literally what my notes say next to that question was should be fine. So yeah,
it should be fine. That's what the doctor said too when they sent him out after surgery.
Yeah, it should be fine. Then we got Oladipo coming back from a torn quad.
Fingers crossed on Oladipo.
Yeah, no joke. You had a lot of that last year. It's all good. I think he's going to be good.
I think too.
I think the Pacers are going to surprise some people this year.
They got a good team. T.J. Warren, Malcolm Brogdon, Oladipo, Miles Turner. I like Miles Turner. I like him a lot. Domantas Sabonis. I think they're going to have a good team. If Oladipo returns back to like all-star.
Welcome to Walmart.
Best in the market. Supermarket, that is.
But yeah, I think they're going to be fine. Then we got John Wall with his torn Achilles. Now, if Harden, I think injury-wise, he's going to be all right.
I don't know.
Well, okay, based off of that injury, I think he's going to be all right. I'm not saying he's not going to get injured. I'm just saying that exact injury I don't think is going to revisit him necessarily. But what it's going to come down to that's going to be their downfall outside of injuries if Harden returns, it's like we talked about last week, the chemistry.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to for that team.
Right.
And if they lose Harden, depending on who they get, it's going to become, more of a facilitating kind of issue of, okay, you got John Wall and, the guy that Brittney Griner is going to body. What do you do now? Like, I mean, they got rid of Jesus Christ. Okay, you know what? We're gonna move on from that topic because we keep coming back to that somehow.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. John Wall, I'm a little concerned just because he is Granted, him and KD have the same injury, but John Wall is a player that relies far more on his athleticism. So I think is going to have a lot more of an impact. I have not seen him rehabbing recently or what he looks like post injury. So I don't know that I can really give a good insight into it. Unlike KD, we've seen his tape, we've seen some of the things he's been doing, and he does look good. Uh, I am more concerned about John Wall uh, just because of the nature of player that he is and has been. I think it's going to have a larger effect on him.
Okay, that's a solid point. I guess I didn't kind of consider that angle. So, yeah, that's a really good point. So now on to our final question. Giannis predictions. Where is he going to end 2021?
I don't know. I want to say Golden State, but I would take Miami. I would take it.
I think he's going to stay.
You think he's going to stay in Milwaukee?
Unless they sign Harden.
See, I don't know because I mean he's a free agent next year. He hasn't shown any signs of. At the same time, I would have a hard time believing if they don't win the championship this year that he will stay.
Okay, but here's the thing. I think there's a good chance they might be able to.
I think they need to make one more significant move. And if they do that, I think they will contend. I think they will get there.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, Drew Holiday is a significant upgrade over Eric Bledsoe. In my opinion, they're two kind of different style players, and I would take Drew Holiday over Bledsoe. If Chris Middleton can stay consistent, he's also a great player. Of course, Giannis is great. I would like to see them pick up a better center than Brook Lopez. I would like to see them try to do another deal with New Orleans to swap for Steve Adams. Pick up a Steven Adams or another top tier big.
Okay.
I think he needs somebody else. Brook Lopez is just so streaky. And it's like, honestly, I'd even like to see him maybe even make a trade for Blake Griffin. When you got Giannis, who is capable of guarding the 5, which is easier for Giannis because he doesn't have to do as much moving. Keep Giannis on the 5. Blake Griffin can guard the 4. And then Griffin's got a decent enough 3-point shot that he can stay on the perimeter and come inside when he needs to, which is good for him because then he doesn't have to exploit his athleticism and he just gets to make some nice passes and hit some good shots.
Yeah.
I think you disagree.
No, I was just thinking and also watching this video that popped up in an ad.
Or Milwaukee gets Daniel Gafford.
You and Daniel Gafford, man. I don't know if they'd make that trade.
Super bouncy.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Milwaukee taking the ship without having to add another one. I could.
You think?
I think there's a chance.
See, there's a reason they were going after Bogdanovich, though.
Yeah.
Because they understand that they need to get a big-time player, or at least somebody to fill in the small forward position, or a shooting guard. Because Chris Middleton can play either of those positions, but they need another top player. Because they lost Wesley Matthews. So they don't have Matthews. I mean, if DiVincenzo can make a step up, but he's not much of a shooter is the problem. So you got Drew Holiday running the point, but who? And then you got Chris Middleton maybe or Chris Middleton on the 2 or 3, you need somebody else to take that other spot, which is why they were going after Bogdanovich. So I think they need to make one more big move.
True.
Either an elite big or a better shooting guard or small forward. My opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Brandon Ingram.
yeah. I
They
mean,
don't
so
have the assets to get him, but Brandon Ingram.
yeah. No, I don't know.
Go ahead.
Like I said, I think they can win it without. I don't know if they will. Like I said, it's more of a chance. But I also think that another addition is obviously going to give them a better chance.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when
I could understand what your
last-
reasoning is.
when the Lakers have made so many significant offseason moves to bolster their roster, when they pick up Marc Gasol, I mean, you've got Marc Gasol now, you've got Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and then
But I was just gonna say, I see where you're coming from. Like I see the point behind it. You know that they need to get somebody else. Like I said, I'm not saying they don't need to. I'm just saying that I think that they could still do it without. Could. Not saying they will.
I think they could. I think they could. I feel like if they want to be more confident, if I want to feel more confident in them doing it, I feel like they need to make one more significant move.
Okay, that's fair.
But I think their matchups with the Nets are going to be really interesting. The NBA this year is just going to be fun to watch because so many different things have happened.
True. All right. Well, I think that about wraps everything up for us. So, yeah, we'll sign up.